Lock it in and rip the knob off. You're tuned in to the #1 show on the planet. The Heffron and Reep Show. This is the epicenter of audio frequency entertainment.
I love it.
It's awesome.
Can't get enough of it.
Oh, yeah. You guys are the best.
Heffron and Reep.
I love you, love you, love you.
The Heffron and Reep Show.
It's us. It's it. It's it. If you were going like, well, who's Heffron and Reep, it would be me, which is John Heffron, and then John Reep is.
That's me, John Reep.
He's in the other side of the. What we did is, like a lot of TikTokers and YouTube stars, me and John Reep, we bought a mansion. It's pretty big. 40, 50,000 square foot. We do a lot of parties and stuff. We don't tell people about them just because with the COVID thing, we don't want anyone freaking out. But he's on the other side of the mansion, and I'm here. And then we're going to do some TikTok stuff, and then we're going to do. We have a lot. We're going to get on in.
We still have a party. We still have a party going on right now. We just stepped away from the party. It's in
oh my god!
It's in the left wing of the house, the mansion.
There's just so many influencers here right now. Like you not believe it. Just some of the stuff we're doing. We're doing like dance challenges. We're doing so much. What's going on, John Reep? What's good?
How are you, buddy? I want to say something real quick. I follow you. I'm a fan of John Heffron. You know, I'm not just a friend. I'm not just a podcasting partner. I'm a pal. And I'm concerned. I know it's a sad day for you. You had to put your doggy down. And I'm sorry to hear that. And this is, you are now petless. Is this right?
Yeah, petless after, 15, 16 years. Because I had, 2 years ago, or maybe a year and a half, whatever the math was. I had 2 cats and 2 dogs. Now I have none. And it's the first time in 15 years. And I got to, obviously, Margaret, like she was the greatest dog in the history of the world. All that's happy stuff. Of course, I would say about it. But today was a weird day where I thought I don't have to get home. It's a weird feeling. And then when you come home, that energy being gone, right? Yeah. Like especially when you travel. It's the first thing you do when you get off the road is you check in with your pet, or you have to make sure the pet's okay, or do you have a pet sitter, all this stuff. And that, you know, for 15 years, I was doing that. And now, like today, I came home and it was weird. I was like, ugh. And then I was at Wendy's, and I always buy her like an extra hamburger. So if I know I'm coming home, I'd always get like an extra thing and then just bring her one and give it to her. I ordered one today, like not even just muscle memory. I'll take 2 hamburgers with just, and then I was like,
right.
Yeah. And then they had a whole basement. Like I literally bought this house for my dogs. That was a weird, every decision. And I tried to, I suck at like posting words with spelling, but every decision I've made not even 15 years. Let's just say after the divorce, selling my house, where am I moving? Do I stay in LA? Can I find an apartment that has 2 dogs? Do I rent a house outside of LA? Every decision I made was based upon these dogs, right? And I was like, I'll get a roommate. I won't charge the roommate anything, and I'll let them stay at my house just to watch the dogs. This is remember back when there were comedy shows and you traveled 3 weeks?
Oh, yeah. Month? Yeah, I remember those days. Wow.
So, I would think about that. And luckily, everything happens for a reason. So I ended up getting my dogs out of LA. This is about a year ago when I was selling it and left them at my sister's. And then I was back, whatever the math was. And I found this house that's on all this acreage with a beautiful, like a basement that you open up the door. And you're just, it's his fields, and the whole basement is like 1,500 square feet. I'm like, this is perfect. They're not dealing with steps. They're not. Yep. So I was thinking about this. I bought the house I was in because of my dogs. But that was my, like, well, what else am I going to do? I have these dogs. I'm not going to blah, 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 blah. And then, so after I put her down, I was like, wow, I've made a lot of choices based on those girls. You know, I'm like, oh, now I got to make them
Yeah.
So then
I'm trying to turn this into a positive for you, though, because of course it's sad when you lose a pet. But your dogs had a great life. You treated them really good. I had the pleasure of dog sitting for you and house sitting for you. I love them. They're sweet.
Like I had a friend going, "Are you kidding me? That dog that was equivalent of being adopted by Madonna." You know, like you're, okay. Like, but it's yeah.
But what I'm saying is this: I want you to look at this as a way to enjoy this new sort of freedom that you have, where you don't have to get home at a certain time. You don't have to get a dog sitter. You don't have to get that extra cheeseburger, dog food, clean up poop. Enjoy this freedom for a good year, maybe, before you get another dog, and see how long you can go.
We were talking about that yesterday, right? Because it was like, so I just turned 50. And I might not mention that as much as I do, by the way, because I did a Zoom, side note, bookmark that conversation we're having. I did a Zoom corporate meeting thing, like my first one. And I just, I mentioned that I'm 50 and blah, 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 blah. I get off the call. My manager goes, do you realize everybody on that call? I think the oldest person was maybe 26. And the second you go, hey, I'm 50, like, does that mentally, do you go, why is there, did we call a rest home? Why is an old guy on the Zoom call? Yeah. But I was thinking about that. Do you get another pet? But now I feel I'm at the age where like, well, wait a minute, this new pet might outlive me. Right? Like right. I'm like, you get to a certain age, we're going, well, okay, these dogs, for shepherds lived a really long time. And Margaret, with all her blood work and stuff, the vet's like, she's got no problem is going on in her body. She's as healthy as a puppy, except for their hips. Their hips go and they can't even stand up. And then you're just being a dick for keeping them alive because you don't want them to go, even though they're like, this is killing me. So then I thought, well, man, I don't know if I'd get another animal. Like they're a lot of work.
Right.
And then I thought, there's a lot of feral cats, because I'm in the middle of nowhere, that just come up to my porch. And now I got to be like, I have to be like a hard ass. And if I get a cat, it's going to be a business relationship. Like I'm going to be very upfront. It's going to be like an old Western. And I hire this cat as the hired gun to deal with some mice. And the cat wants to get chit chatty. And I'm by the fire eating beans going, I don't want to make this personal. You just do what you got to do. And we just keep it like, and the cat thinks I'm surly because I don't share. It's like, listen, I was hurt once, okay? I was hurt. It'll never happen again. Right. Fine, go. I'm leaving. Good. I don't need you. That's right. I don't need you either. And then we leave. And then at the last scene of the movie, I come back. Well, I guess you needed a part. So I have it all figured out. But yeah, I'd have to have that relationship. I think I would get a cat, but I don't know. But yeah,
I think you answered the question. I wouldn't go out and get a new pet. You're going to have crap that just wanders up to your house.
Yeah.
And just make those your kind of pet. Like sometimes you'll let them in the house and you'll pet them for a minute. And then if you open the door and they leave, you don't feel bad about it because it's not really yours anyway. So you're just going to have a indoor, outdoor cat, seems like. Are you seeing more than one cat that just wanders up to your house? Have you seen? You said there's feral cats.
Yeah, because there's a lot going on around where I live. There's a lot of every nature channel. There's everything. So there were cats that would come around, but I've always found them no longer with us. So there's a whole thing. I don't know if the mangy coyotes get them, and then there's that's the thing, or they're sick, or there's a lot of I don't know.
You got like a real circle of life going on over there.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I left a bowl of water out once in my neighbor.
That's what I was going to say. You leave some food out there.
I made a mistake of doing it once, and then my neighbor said, "Don't leave water because raccoons will come." and drink the water, and then when your dogs drink the water, they get some kind of heebie-jeebies from the raccoons. Yeah. So I'm like, what is this whole?
Now you don't have to worry about the heebie-jeebies anymore. So, but then, do you really want a pet raccoon? Is the question?
Nah,
I mean, you don't want a pet raccoon.
No, they scare me.
I don't think those could be trained unless you get them from a really small baby raccoon. But also, you posed a different interesting question. Should you get a new pet based on its life expect, how long will it live? You definitely would not want to get a turtle or a parrot, because they will outlive you at this point. So maybe you get something. Can we look up what pet doesn't live the longest or dies the quickest?
Maybe what are those things from the 90s? They were keychains. Yakima. What?
Sea monkeys?
No. I used to have those. No, Tamagotchis.
I don't know what that is.
They were electronic, and you would have to feed it, and then it would chirp. It wasn't real.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a Roomba. I mean, I've talked to my Roomba before, so I can get. Or you know what? After 15 years, maybe I spend time with myself, and I'll be so scared. I take a moment.
Just call me or send me every now and then. I'll. But if you get I need somebody to talk to, but I don't. I've never been the person who's needed a pet.
Didn't you used to have dogs in a different life?
Well, because I was married.
Is that why?
Yeah. Anytime I've lived alone, I've not had a pet.
Did you like having those? I remember those little. Were there two or one?
There was two dogs. One was a miniature Alaskan Husky, is what I would tell people, but really it was a Pomeranian.
Okay.
So, think of an Alaskan Husky, and then shrink it down. It's what a Pomeranian is. Okay. It just sounds more manly when you say miniature Alaskan Husky.
Right.
But it was a Pomeranian. It was a little yapper dog, and then we had another one that she got later when I was out of town. I didn't know about. I came home to another dog. It was like half Chihuahua, half some sort of, I don't know, Cocker Spaniel looking thing, but it was weird. Another yapper because it had a lot of Chihuahua in it. But I did grow to love the dogs. I like the dogs, but also like not having
dogs,
the responsibility of it, because it was ultimately that was her thing. I said, well, if you were going to get a dog, you're going to do everything. Now, of course, I ended up doing a lot of stuff and paying for everything.
Yeah.
But I never sought out going and getting a pet. But I like them. So maybe if I were to get something, I would get a cat because they're low maintenance. And you said you got cats that may or may not wander up. I might just go with the cat. Put some cat food out in a bowl of water now that you don't have the dogs to worry about getting heebie-jeebies. And then getting a camera out there. And then when the thing wanders up, try to lure it with some real food. And then over time, become its friend. And then you'll have an indoor-outdoor cat at your leisure. Maybe that's a good baby step into
almost take what's the approach? Probably if you owned a bed and breakfast or a hotel where people come and go, and you talk to them while they're there, and then they move on. And then there's another one that shows up, and you just, you like, okay, that one person was cool, that one person wasn't. I had a moment though, so. A lot of emotional stuff, especially when you have to put a pet down. It's horrible.
Right. That's tough, dude.
So I'm having all these inner conversations with myself, trying to be philosophical, and then I'm like, I'm gonna write the most amazing Eliza, my dog died post ever. Right? I don't know if you ever read what Eliza wrote when Blanche passed. It was
I didn't even know Blanche passed.
Oh yeah, a year or two ago. But Eliza, so she's such a good writer. It just, you read the thing, even if you hate animals, you're crying the whole time, right? Like it's a thing. So I'm gonna write this awesome, blah, blah, blah. And one, horrible. Two, I would put pictures, right? Because then you kind of get in this loop. I'm scrolling through whatever since the first iPhone. every puppy, like so many. One, I take so many pictures of my dogs. That kind of needs to stop. Like if I get a new animal, I don't need 7,000 different angles and, like we're doing girls on film. So I post pictures and then I would go to type something and then I would lose it like a new baby. And then I'd I put my phone down and then I'd look at it. I'm like, that's dumb. Right. So then I would delete it and then I'd go back to my phone. But this was the day before I had to put her down. I'm like, now I'm being kind of a jerk. If I put, hey, she's gone. She's not gone yet. She's not gone until tomorrow. And what if they can't fit me in? Then I'm the asshole who put an Instagram post about my dog who passed, who still has a dog. Now I'm faking it, right? I'm going for sympathy things here.
Yeah, you are.
So then I had this picture. It was like from my front porch of this house, there's a farm across the field. And every day it changes. So when they're baling stuff, the scenery changes. There'll be a John Deere truck, and then it'll be gone. And so it's a really cool picture. Almost every day, depending on the day, season or time, it's a different thing. So I have a great sunrise picture, and then I had a picture of Margaret, and then I wrote out. I don't remember what I wrote. I'm like, a year ago, I was in pain and I had to go, and she transitioned me to this. Now it's her time to go and I have to blah, blah, blah. And then I would go, right. So like Hallmark movie, cheesy, but then I would lose it. I would like have her go, and then I had this moment where I was like, I'm the only one in this house at that time. So like, why don't I just cry like a baby? Like there's no unless Amazon Alexa is stop, unless she's recording me or the Russians from my eye, like nobody's seeing like me having this.
Right. Sob it out, dude. It feels good to sob one out.
Well, then I thought, here's why. So then I had all these moments. I'm like, why is it so? Because I saw I watched my mom pass, other animals, not that they're the same at all.
Sure.
And if you think if you go through one thing that it would be easy to do. But I think every time you have to deal with that death, it all comes back. It's not just the one animal. It's not just the one. So obviously saying goodbye to, Kylie and Margaret remind me of having to say goodbye to my mom and then having to say goodbye to my grandma. So it just I think the older you get, that snowball of grief just gets bigger and bigger. That's why when you're a kid, you go flush the fish down the toilet. I don't care. Let's go get a new one. And then that's where it starts.
As you're saying this, I'm trying to think back on what death I've had to deal with, and it's not a lot. I've been very lucky, and I don't know how I would be if I were in your shoes, considering all the stuff you've been through. Because I'm trying to think. Both my parents are still alive. I've lost some grandparents, but I wasn't 100% that close to them. You know what I mean? Not like so much that it killed me for a long time, but like I've lost the dogs I had recently with my ex-wife. She got them, so I didn't. I lost them in a divorce, but they were alive.
Yeah.
But I think they're dead now. But I don't know how I would be if I lost something that close to me. I would probably sob it out because I think it feels really good to just cry your balls off.
It does.
And then when you're done, you're like, all right, what's next? Now I'm going to run a marathon. You feel like that emotion's over.
I think you need that. Like, I remember when my mom passed, you would try to I don't even know why you'd hold it in. Maybe there was always somebody around, or I didn't have that moment. And then whatever, I was on the road, and then it happened. I'm like, boy, that felt good. It feels good to just get that out of your system.
Let it happen.
Yeah.
Well, because guys were told not to cry, not to be seen crying. We're just sort of growing up that we're kind of old school where it's like, boys don't cry kind of thing. But
it's weird. Like in school, you don't know how to deal with it. And I've had a blessed life. I know a lot of other people that had to deal with a lot more death. Like we're almost insane.
Sure.
Those in the military, those
Right.
stuff where they're like everybody has died, but and then I can't even imagine that. I'm not way strong enough. But they teach zero of death in school. Like that to me, that they should spend like a week. They should, instead of giving you an egg when you're I've seen this in movies. I don't know if they had this at school where you had to keep the egg alive and they taught you how to be like a parent. They ought to give you something that has a week time span of life, and you get that thing on Monday and that thing's dead on Friday, and you go through the whole gamut, right? You learn, oh, look at this cute little mouse.
Great idea.
And then Friday, you got to bury that thing and deal with your grief so you know how to handle grief, so you don't start doing drugs or drinking because you don't know how to handle that thing. And then you see everybody in class crying about the turtle or whatever would die in a week. And everybody's like, okay, everybody else did it. I guess it's not weird when I do it. And then those people grow up to be healthy.
Well, I don't think your thought process is incorrect on this. I think we got something going on here. Now, a fly, a common house fly, well, I've been told their lifespan is like 3 days or something. I could be wrong about this, but I've been told that a common house fly doesn't live very long. But you don't want a pet fly.
Yeah, you're not going to get emotionally. It has to.
It's got to be something else, like a hummingbird. Like, I don't know how their hearts beat really fast. They flap their wings. They can't live that long, hummingbirds, because I mean, look how much energy they're going through. So there's got to be a bird or something that doesn't have a long lifespan.
I don't know. It kind of seems now with COVID, kids are at home. Parents, this experiment could be done.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, there's probably a lot. Anyway. And then also I had I had one weird moment right before we jumped on this call. Like at 3, I get a call from the vet saying the cremation, the remains are here. Come and get them. So then I looked at the clock and I know I had to call you at 4, and it's 3, and it's like 15 minutes into town and then back. I'm like, but then in my brain, I'm thinking I need to go get her. I'm going to be late for the call. I'm not going to be back at 4, but I can't leave her. This is my last duty. I have to get her. I'm not going to leave her in something. I go, bring back, she's in this like a little crate thing or this wood thing. So then Kylie, my other shepherd who I put down a month ago, was downstairs next to like above where Margaret slept. Right. That's where Kylie was. So then I grabbed Kylie and I had Margaret, and I went upstairs and I looked at the time and saw that we had to talk, and I didn't know where to put them. And I started freaking out going, I don't know where they should go. And I set them on the floor next to the couch. I'm like, well, if they were up here, they'd probably want to be next to me. Like, this is dumb. It's a crate of ashes. There's nothing, but I was having, and then I ran into the room I sleep in. I'm like, well, I haven't slept with them in a while. I'll put them next to the bed. And then I was like running around like crazy, not knowing what to do with them. And then I had this moment where I'm like, it's a crate. It's ashes. It's not, this is like, I'm putting too much meaning on this thing. So I decided I'm going to get a pedestal. And then I have their dog food bowls. I'm going to somehow mount it. I think I've seen this on Pinterest or something. And I'm going to put that outside and then keep water or whatever in these pedestals with their bowl, with their thing.
Like a bird bath?
Yeah. And then that way they can be outside. Why would you want to be inside next to me on the couch while I play video games? Why would they not want to be outside? And see how the cat's going, fuck, if I wasn't a ghost right now, I would rip you apart. Like they could kind of,
That's right. That's where they want to be. Now, dogs love outside, and they love chasing birds and other things around. That's perfect for them. Do you have any tattoos, John?
No. I thought
my
about
friend Shannon. She had a lot of dogs, and when the one dog would pass, she would get like a paw print. She took the paw print of the dog and made a tattoo out of it, and would have a tattoo of her dog's paw.
Yeah, I got that for both of them. Margaret's, they didn't bake it. Like they put their paw in this cookie thing, but they didn't bake it.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we didn't get around to baking. You should bake it. I'm like, hey, for 400 some bucks, you should like bake that and sprinkle cinnamon on it. Bake it. And now I got to bake this thing. This is stupid. Yeah, I thought about that. I'm like, I'm going to get a tattoo. But then you start going, well, wait, why would I not get my mom's name? And then I get my grandma's, and then my two cats, Smokey and Chill.
Maybe it's time for you to get sleeved up, dude.
And then pretty soon I just have. So what I am gonna do is, get like portraits made of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then just.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, and then just blow it up, and if I make a bar in my basement, just hang their pictures where their beds would normally be. You know?
Right. I like.
You got to celebrate it. You can't wallow.
Yeah, that's better than what some people I've seen do with, because you can mount and stuff, and you can go to a taxidermist and do all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I never liked that idea. People doing that to their dogs.
No, because you got to let it
do it to deer.
Yeah, you have to let it go. Like I went through some of the videos, and I found my two cats, right up when they're up against your neck, purring. I have Kylie like barking, Margaret barking or talking, whatever you want to call it. But I have all these cool sounds, and then I'm thinking, if I get somebody who's good at music to put those sounds against some like trance music, like
right?
Would that be really comforting to hear my cat's purr in my ear? Like as the music's playing, and then hear.
I'm sure that would be a good sort of like house music retro. Like if you were to go check in some fancy hotel, I bet you could sneak a cat purr in a song and no one would know it.
And then they're suddenly happy too.
Yeah,
right. You wouldn't know why.
Hotel.
Yeah, you're like, I feel just real comfortable right now. I feel, I don't know why I feel so naughty kitty-y.
Well, lay down. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that.
Sorry about the loss, buddy. But yeah, here's to new beginnings. Who knows what the future will hold for you and your pet life, or non-existent pet life. I was at the beach this weekend. Went down to Myrtle Beach. You ever been to Myrtle Beach?
Yeah.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Did I miss an opportunity for you to hit a button?
Oh, if I would have.
I just did something.
Hold on.
I don't know if you caught.
Okay.
Heffron and Reep. Subject change.
Yeah, dude. So I was just in Myrtle Beach this weekend. Have you ever been to Myrtle Beach?
I did the House of Blues, right? There's a House of Blues there.
Yep.
Did we do that together?
Wait a second, maybe.
I kind of think that we did a House of Blues together.
Probably.
Probably.
I've
10 years ago.
There.
Yeah.
I've done it without you too, though. I've done one just by myself.
There's a guy that's a golfer that ran it. Do you know who I'm talking about? Okay. Yeah. So it's been a long time.
Yeah.
I just remember very tank toppy, very salty dog tank tops and black t-shirts. It just, I don't think I've ever owned just a t-shirt that's the color, but I remember just that.
The sleeveless black t-shirt?
Yeah.
That's not been your thing?
Yeah, nah. I don't got the guns for that.
No, well, me either. But no, I didn't experience any House of Blues. And in fact, the House of Blues close to where I was staying was closed. Most stuff's not even open. So me and my girlfriend, her daughter, and her daughter's friend, another girl, went to Myrtle Beach, stayed in a condo right on the water. And all we did was go to the beach, go to the pool, and then come back to the condo. I mean, we went out once to an area, they call it Barefoot Landing, where it's a lot of shops and you walk around and there's restaurants and there's kind of fun things to do. We went there once and it was miserably hot. And her daughter was complaining. You know how you get chafed it's too humid out and you're walking and you get chafed?
Yeah.
That was happening to everybody. At some point we just we went into a video game room, big, huge arcade, just because they had air conditioning, and to think about what are we going to do from here? What's open? What's the closest restaurant we can go to with the least amount of wait time?
Were there people out? Here?
There were people out, but it wasn't crowded. It wasn't like Myrtle Beach is always crowded in the summer. This was like half that was gone. So we actually had a good time because there were less people. But it was just one of them lazy, fun vacations that I've discovered. And I've not really been I've not been the kind of guy that would go to a beach and just lay in the sun and do nothing.
Right. Like
I know girls that can do that. Like my girlfriend's that way. She could just take a chair down to the beach and sit there from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. and absolutely do nothing but just lay there.
Right.
I'm like, well, isn't that boring? Like I like to play a game, do something. But I didn't. This was the first time I didn't do that, and maybe it's because I was in good company. But I put SPF 50 all over my body.
Yeah.
I do not even mess with that anymore. I used to have delusions or whatever
delusion. Not grandiose.
What are we trying to say?
Remember what we talked about earlier? Don't say it if you know it, because that leaves an open loop for people, and they'll keep.
I know, but now we have to finish it. Grand
illusions. I don't have grand illusions.
Grand gestures?
No, that's a grand.
Alan, do you know what we're trying to say? Are you hearing any of this?
I don't have illusions.
I don't have any grand illusions, grand gestures of
false hopes.
I used to be able to think I could tan, but now I've realized there's no way. Delusions of grandeur.
Yes,
Alan Jackson for the win.
There we go.
Now we can move forward. Thanks, buddy. I do not have delusions of grandeur that I can tan.
Why did we think it was grand illusions? That's a weird, completely, we both did it.
Yeah. Well, there's grand gestures. Then there's delusions, but it's delusions of grandeur. Wow. Write this down. That's too much going on at one time.
That almost seems like, side note, that almost seems like that would be like a cool Netflix show, Grand Delusions, where it's just people, I guess that's every show of house hunters where people think that they can afford the house on $600 a month. So maybe that would be delusion. Anyway, go ahead. So you're at the beach, you have baby powder on your legs so you don't shave. Yeah.
No. I just put on the most SPF I could get my hands on. And I just put it all over my body. I don't even leave the condo until I have covered every square inch of my skin in SPF 50, at least 50. I even make my girlfriend do it. I'm like, get on the back.
Yeah.
Get all the back. I just make sure, like I'm like her show pony. She's just going to wash me down, make sure I look good for when I prance out to the beach. And then when I get out there, I don't sit in the sun. I get under the umbrella.
Right.
And I still got a little bit of sun. With all that being said, the only time I got out in the sun, and when I did it was SPF 50, was to adjust the tent, the umbrella, to adjust a chair, to jump into the ocean, and then sit back down. And I still got sun. So me and the sun don't get it wrong. But I had a good time this time just doing nothing on the beach, but sitting there talking to Jody, listening to music, drinking beer. It's great.
Underneath your tent. It's always creepy to see the guy under the tent, because at least when you don't have the tent, if you're staring at a girl who walks by, you have to squint because the sun is kind of protecting her to make it hard for you to stare. But when you have the tent, it's like you're in a deer blind. It's like you're hidden, you're up in the tree. It's a thing.
Do that when you go to the beach?
I haven't been to the beach I don't remember last time I was at. No, I was here in Michigan with my girl and her daughter. No, it was a lake. I haven't been to the ocean. Yeah. I lived in LA. I think I could make it over to Malibu in under 10 minutes, or you go over the hill. And I don't know if I ever drove over and got out of the car and walked around. I don't think I ever did that. And I lived 10 minutes from the beach.
Right.
Yeah.
Same here. I'm not normally a beach guy, but it's a big ordeal. But the place we were staying was like right on the water, so it was like you have to go because you're looking right at it. Why not go out there? A 10-minute drive still is like I got to pack the car, I got to get the chair, got to get the umbrella, and then I got to get all the sand off my feet. I don't have a water hose. So all this stuff come with the condo is great.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I didn't.
Oh, no, I was
wrong. You ever do that when you're talking to somebody and they keep? I've had times where I've held the phone away from my head and I've just said something just to nobody, going what? And you put your phone back. You're like, they're not even breathing. I probably do that. If you know me and listening to this, you're like, dude, you do that all the time. So,
podcast when you're zooming and Skyping like this, of course, it's going to happen.
I'm going to Atlanta this weekend. Do I hit this button?
Heffron and Reep, shameless plugs.
It's not really a plug, but I'm going to Atlanta this weekend. I'm a little nervous. I'm like, should I be? Should I not be? But I am.
Sure.
And then next weekend, I'm in Denver. I'm not plugging dates, but I'm like, I think I'll go out for 2 weeks and then I'll come back to the house and the whole world will be shut down again, or it won't. But I'm not even buying a plane ticket, and I haven't even thought about my act. Somebody Facebooked me going, do you know what you're going to talk about? We see you all the time. You're here. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? That's you're seriously, you want a set list now with everything that's going on? Every comic has sat home for 6 months. Everyone I talk to thinks, the same thing. They haven't been thinking. You're not going to do a hilarious COVID joke. Everyone's, but I'm kind of stressed. I haven't bought a plane ticket.
Yeah,
I'm like, how do I pack? I don't even know where my luggage is. Do I go? I went up the stairs to come up here to record this, and I was breathing heavy. I'm like, I'm so out of shape. Can I talk for 45 minutes straight and not take a? There's a lot of factors.
Didn't you have a gig not long ago? Weren't we just talking about this?
No, that's just where I was in Tampa, but that was almost
Tampa.
That was almost 2 or 3 months ago.
That's the last time I performed. Yeah, you were okay, right. So again, it's like we're starting over because all that work that you did, all that muscle memory that you did when you worked out in Tampa, it's gone again, and you're having to start over. I definitely be nervous because it forces you to do something about it. So you'll probably cram. I don't know. Do you cram like the night before or like an hour before, or do you just start thinking in your head how it's going to go, what you're going to do?
No, I think I'll go. I don't even know.
You have to do something, like even if it's like 30 seconds before you walk on stage, you're thinking, okay, what's the first thing I'm going to say?
Yeah, I used to have this little trick I would do just to calm myself down and at least go, this sounds dumb, but I'm like, what message, how do I want the audience to leave? Like, it's a weird question. And that focuses me a little bit. Because if I don't do that this weekend, I'll be all over the place, and I don't have a subject change button for when I'm on stage. So it's going to be a lot of talking to the crowd, but I don't think anybody can expect any. That's why, though. No. I was watching some Zoom shows, like where people did their comedy, and then you heard the Zoom people laughing. Talk to me in 2 months. I might have a different approach. I've seen some people really do it really well. They have a brick wall behind them and their timing's perfect. But I think doing stuff like we're doing here with this content, even though it's been dog that passed away talk, is going to be the thing. Like, this is the way we'll do it for a little bit. That's why, though, we got to get on the money-making train. I've seen some comics with various pasts making a crap ton. Like, dudes who got in trouble, and then they have a podcast, and now they're making more money than most people make, and we don't do that because we never ask for things. But here's what I looked up. I looked up custom chocolates. Ever see those chocolate candy bars that say world's best chocolate, and they sell them at gas stations or kids knock on your door? I think we just make Heffron and Reep candy bars, and we send them to people, and we charge like 50 cents more than at the gas station, and then we just try to we just got to sell like 100,000 candy bars. And then we're good. Then we don't have to go on the road. Just think of something we can sell about 100,000, and we're not being greedy. That'll keep us.
Do we have a company making them? Are we having to do this? I know. Is this going in with the candles?
We have candles. Yeah, just private labeling. We can do anything. Do you want a cologne?
Yeah.
I've looked it up. We can make Heffron and Reep Cologne. Pajama idea. I'm still trying to get that done. but we can make it simpler. Miracle water, want to just have essential oil, and we say it keeps spirits away.
We came up we came up with the hats too, with the mask hats.
What about lucky pennies? What if we send the Heffron Reep lucky penny for $10? That's like $9 and probably with shipping 45-cent profit. And we could probably give people to give us pennies. And then we just have we won't even polish them up.
Just something about go outside and then look on the sidewalk. There you go. Now give me $10.
Yeah, or we do that. That's actually genius. We cut out all the thing, and we'll figure out something like a scavenger hunt. We won't say rock. We'll twig or something, and we say every time you find this twig, Venmo us, Heffron Reep some cash.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Like almost like a punch bug. Like when you saw a VW and you punch. So every time you see a blank, send us $2.
Right.
But what's the blank though?
Oh God! Now I want to go on a tangent, dude. Do we have time for a tangent?
Sure, we have.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know the punch bug thing, right?
Yeah.
You see a VW, you hit somebody. Do you remember the game? Did you guys do this in Michigan? Where if you would make the OK sign and you'd put it somewhere on your body.
Yeah.
If they looked at it.
And then you did your hand in between your eyes to stop or you could stick your finger in the OK sign.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
You're familiar with that game, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Somewhere along the way, I don't know when this happened. Do you know where I'm going?
Yeah. And
I don't understand how it happened. That just turned into white power, and it bothers me because my son put a post up of the OK sign.
Yeah,
and someone goes like, "Well, why is your son doing the white power thing, dude?" I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. This is the game we've played it our whole lives.
Yeah,
he's referring to this stupid game, and now you're saying that. I don't like it. No one ran that past me that we're turning the OK sign into a white power thing.
So and you can't retroact stuff. If you did stuff, I don't know.
I didn't know that.
If suddenly you were like bell bottoms are racist. If bell bottoms is the symbol for, let's even take off of racism. People who hate cats.
Represent the dinner bell, and then the people who had to make the dinner for the people.
But if you wore the bell bottoms, if you wore whatever, knowing. Like I have a picture. If you Google, I don't know if you have. Do you have access to a computer?
Yeah, right here.
Okay, so type John Heffron and just hit images. And I will tell you the bit, but see if it pops up.
John Heffron images. Okay, there's lots of images here.
But you look for what is now. We're playing Find the Game. You should be. There's one that's pretty prevalent.
All right. Well, give me a hint of what I'm looking for.
Doing the symbol that we were just talking about. It's from.
So you got one in your hand.
I'm doing the OK symbol, and
the OK symbol. Gotcha.
It's kind of always like I always see it because it's the first thing I think of.
Well, I just typed in John Heffron and hit images, and
I'm in a blue shirt, and
luckily that one hasn't popped up yet. But I don't think.
So it's.
I don't think you have to worry about that, dude.
Well, I'm doing like it. It looks like, but the bit is. Again, my special was 800 years ago. It was you turn on your car after it's been on, and it makes that noise, and it goes wah, and then everyone looks at you.
Oh, here it is.
So then I do the wave, and I go, I didn't know the car was on. The windshield wipers didn't give me a clue, and then I do the OK symbol after I did that. Like I got this. But for some reason that's the picture. So,
sure.
And that's yeah. So
but it means okay. It doesn't mean anything else.
It means okay.
Right.
It means okay.
But I don't know the answer to this question. When did we turn that okay into white power?
They hijacked it. Yeah.
Whose idea was it? And now
everyone does it. Yeah. Now you can't do it. So that's what wins that. You can't.
But I didn't sign off on this. You're not going to take away the okay symbol from me.
Oh,
I'm not okay. I'm not okay with it.
Yeah, it's okay. It's been, you literally do by the way, you do if you get certified in diving, you literally do the okay symbol when you're okay when you're underwater. When you check all your stuff and they ask you if you're okay, you literally do the okay symbol underwater. So if you're with your dive master and you do that, are they going to be like, whoa, bruh, not to tell, like, why are we getting political on 20 feet below? Why is this happening here? Let's talk about this at the bar.
Great, John. This is a great sketch. Of course, we can't do this because we're white.
But I get, like, if somebody's doing a symbol and that means that you're this, I get why, but can you make up your own hand? Like, make up I don't know.
No, it's a funny sketch here. It's like white guy and a black guy go deep sea diving or something, they go.
Right, yeah, if somebody had, like.
One guy's doing this, and he's like, what? And he's like, oh, I did it because I can't breathe. Oh, you can't breathe like George Floyd. So it's just a whole thing that turns into, like, this whole racial sketch. It's something that the Chappelle Show were still on.
Yeah, if you were good at doing that. I think we're all going to be just in our houses alone. I think we're done with people. Generally, we're the last graduating class to be in groups of people that did things, and so it's going to eventually, it's going to be pods and everybody's done. It's going to be like the Matrix. We're just in pods, and whatever. I'll be 70 with a young puppy going, I never thought I would have this happen again.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So for the next podcast, we have to think of what people look at and then automatically think about giving us money.
Yeah, how do we monetize this podcast? Patreon is, we could possibly do it. You said there was another podcaster who just started doing it and got like a lot of. Well,
it's not even like, I wonder what, I just want to do value. So I'm thinking if we do Patreon where there's bonus stuff, even though we should probably, I bailed last week, so I should probably worry about just having our podcast be consistent. But I'm wondering, I wonder what would be fun things that we could do that people would like, not necessarily even to make money, just to add, just to do stuff. Do we do Zoom calls where people can check in and we
Cameos would be real simple if we could.
But that's separate though. We got to think of like something that's
a Heffron and Reep cameo or something. I know what you're saying. Well, let's think about that. But I do agree that we need to try to put one out every week, no matter what. So now that I got you on the phone, can you do next week?
I can do next week. We'll do
Can you do okay, good. So
it's Tuesday,
4
right?
o'clock good?
4 o'clock, I can debate whether we should do it a little earlier.
Next week, Monday. That's right. I'm sorry. Can you do Monday next week?
Cannot do Monday. This could have been
flying back.
I'm coming back, and then I'm pick up my nephew because he may have school, but he may not because no adults have plans for these kids, so they got to figure it out. So they're just gonna Lord of Flies it and figure out themselves, even though they're 5.
So maybe
I could maybe do Monday. Let's regroup, okay. And maybe we do later in the day Monday, and then I'll do some homework assignments. I'll check on the chocolate, and all that type of stuff.
I love it.
What does it get this going? We're what we are, man. I can't wait to hit the pool party that's been going on this entire time.
Right? I know. I'm worried about Benjamin.
Oh yeah, that guy's crazy.
Did you see Benjamin when we left?
That guy. He's always like, I can jump the bonfire.
I don't know how he's alive.
We'll check him out. Take care, everybody. Stay safe. Wear a mask, would you?
The Heffron and Reep Show.
Since you love the Heffron and Reep Show, please go to iTunes and let them know.